Last year I visited the Sirena shipyard in Turkey. You may know that they're well known for producing some really beautiful composite production yachts. At the end of that video, I announced that Sirena would be adding a new line of super yachts to their range, custom tri-deck yachts built from steel and aluminium. This is quite a departure from their current production techniques, so I came back to Turkey, to the town of Yalova, to take a look at their facilities and to show you the amazing new 42-meter super yachts that they have in construction here. Now, I know that we shouldn't really stereotype different nationalities, but I'm going to, because when I visit Northern European shipyards, I'm always struck at how efficient, well-organized and clean the shipyards are. Elsewhere in the world, let's just say that's not always the case, and that can make filming quite challenging at times. However, when I visited Sirena last time in their other production facility, it was like God had cut a square mile of land out of fields off of Rotterdam and pasted it in the middle of Turkey. It was remarkable how effective, efficient, clean, well-organized they were. And the visit this time to this shipyard has taught me that when Sirena do something, they do it right. And when I say do something right, I'm not just talking about building a really beautiful shipyard with offices that are welcoming for clients and comfortable for the workers. When you build a yacht that is going to accommodate crew and the owner and his guests, it really has to be safe as well as beautiful, of course. And that can be quite challenging. When I arrived at Sirena's new shipyard, I was greeted by Barış Babaoglu, the Super Yacht project associate. Barış showed me all over the yacht, and we had a fascinating conversation about exactly this subject. You see, if you want to build a yacht, if you want to do it properly and to high standards, you have to involve two entities. One is the flag state. Actually, you have to have a flag on any vessel if you want to go to sea. But the country that the flag belongs to won't allow their flag to be used just by anybody. They have certain standards relating to the safety, standards relating to the navigational ability of the yacht. If you've ever wondered why it is that you see so many Cayman Islands flags on yachts, the main reason is that they have a well-organized registry with high standards and an organization that can communicate with yacht builders to tell them what they approve and what they disapprove of. The other entity is the Classification Society, and RINA, which is the Registro Italiano Navale, or the Italian Naval Registry, is one of the most highly regarded in the world. They're interested in the navigational ability and the safety, but also in the construction and the engineering of the yacht. So Barış and the team that he works with are really kept on their toes to ensure that they meet those high expectations of both of those entities. One example of RINA's high standards involves the welding work carried out on the yacht. And rightly so, since the welds between metal plates are quite literally holding the vessel together. Not only does the metal itself have to be certified and approved by RINA, but so do the welders themselves. And it doesn't end there. If they need to do work somewhere that requires welding overhead, they need an additional certificate for that. As you can imagine, both flag state and classification always take a keen interest in any apertures in the hull, something that we see all the time on large yachts built throughout the world. In the case of the Sirena 42, that we shall be looking at in a moment, the yacht will have a side-opening pantograph door that you can see during the factory approval test here. The door will allow a tender and toys to be stored forward of the engine room, and the Sirena team is working hard with both entities to ensure that it reaches the highest of safety standards. Watertight integrity, fire safety, crew safety, the yacht stability, propulsion, the electrical system, everything has to be submitted to at least one of these entities for approval. And they can and do reject anything that they are uneasy with, meaning that the builder has to strive for the highest possible standards. And on top of that, they need to meet environmental standards imposed by the International Maritime Organization that sits above both flag and class. So why such a long introduction before getting on with the business of actually showing you all around the yacht? Well, I think that if you, like me, appreciate a well-designed and well-built yacht, then that appreciation becomes even deeper when you understand the extreme lengths that shipyards like Sirena go to ensure that the yacht is also safe and seaworthy. Now, we're going to start the tour right here on what will be the swim platform. This cutout section here is going to have what's called a transformer fitted to it. You may have seen that on other yachts. It's basically a platform that extends outwards, and as it does so, steps come out. So it can either go up and you can walk up the steps and use it as a diving board or use it for access to the dock, or it can go down for access to the water when you want to go swimming. I should add that there'll also be a passerelle. I can just about see the housing there, and the passerelle also extends for access to the dock, because sometimes these transformers aren't the easiest way to access the dock if it's at certain heights. The passerelle will be fine for that, so you've got the two options. Moving up here, this is one of the best features of the yacht. You can already see the shape of it. This will be a beautiful hot tub right here. There'll be a couch here, so you can sit on the couch, enjoy the pool, the beautiful view. They're talking about putting a fire pit here as well, which I think will be really sensational. And these wings here, you can just about see where the cutoff point is. They'll open up too, so you'll have this amazing area, lots of floor space where you can really enjoy being at one with the ocean. And that's an expression that people use in marketing a lot. They say we want our clients to be at one with the ocean. But actually this really does do that, because when you're sitting here and you've got this incredible view around you, unobstructed with that pool, it's hard to imagine anything better than that. Let's move on a little bit further up. This will still be an outside space, deck space. They're not talking about putting a table there, and I think that's a wise decision because a table would make it cluttered. If it was my yacht, I think I'd put a little bit of loose furniture. Maybe not. But we enter into the lounge area through here. Now, obviously, there'll be sliding glass doors here, which will be opened up so that somebody can come in and enjoy what will be an absolutely gorgeous main salon area. The thing I particularly noted here was the volume. Now, these are full height glass windows, so you'll have lots of light flooding in. But I was talking to Ali Uzgur, who's the Chief Commercial Officer of Sirena, just this morning about this fact, that if there's one thing that the smaller production Sirena yachts are known for, it's their volume. Their 78 is a very voluminous 78. Their 88 is actually remarkable in terms of the volume that you get for an 88. And they've continued that Sirena DNA, let's say, with the Superyachts, because this, for a 42 metre, will be a very voluminous 42 metre indeed. As we move through here, I had an interesting conversation with Barish on this topic, because through here is the galley. It's actually very difficult to show this on film, but we'll have a GA on screen to show you what I'm talking about. This will be the galley area here. And the first time I looked at it, I asked why they put this bulkhead in, because it appears to me that if you took it out, you'd have a much bigger open area for the galley. But Barish made a very good point. He said this has to be a fire-rated area. If there's going to be a fire on board a yacht, the chances are it could happen in the galley. So the doors will be fire-rated doors, one door there, one door there. And so they had to make sure that this is an enclosed area for fire protection. And it just made me think that sometimes it's easy to look at a yacht and critique the layouts, but often there's a good reason for the way that the layout's been done that way, and it still leaves a very ample galley area for the yacht. Let's take a look now at what I think is the most remarkable point on board. Now this for me is a real standout feature. All of this will be the owner's stateroom. Off to my right, what will be the port side of the vessel, will be quite a large ensuite bathroom, of course. You'll have more than a lobby area there. The bed will be more or less here, facing forward. It's not a beautiful view right now because we're still in a shipyard, but that will be absolutely sensational. Full height, glass, sliding doors, so that you can step out of bed, open the doors, and be immediately in the fresh air here. This area is what I would call a Zen garden kind of an area. I've never seen it done before on a yacht of any size at all. But just imagine, if you want to, there's a design to have a little hot tub here. You can maybe have a table there or there if you want to sit and have your coffee, enjoy it in the morning when you've just woken up, then take this stairwell up here to an area that I'll show you in a few moments. But what an amazing and beautiful wow factor of a design this really is. There's something I want to show you below deck though, and it's not actually the guest cabins, although the guest cabins will be below deck. Let's go and take a look. Below deck, as you can see, there's still quite a lot of work to be done here. Eventually there'll be 4 staterooms for the guests, and forward there's actually quite a well-proportioned crew quarters too. But the reason I wanted to show you this part of the yacht is underneath my feet right here, you see the tube here. That's because they're pressure testing the tanks right now. This is a fuel tank, there's another fuel tank over there. I believe this central one is a freshwater tank. And the idea is that they're put under considerable air pressure. All of the apertures are closed up, obviously, and the structure of the tanks themselves is tested under those actually quite extreme conditions. And of course, the Classification Society takes an interest to know that that's been done and to check that it's been done. Let's take a look now around the rest of the yacht. Now, to my right is the bridge. At the moment it has no windscreens in it, it's all solid steel. But to my left, just look at this. That is what I was referring to as the Zen garden. That is the part just in front of the master stateroom. So you can imagine, as I said earlier, having a coffee down there when you've just got out of bed, walking up that curved stairwell. Here, there'll be a really large couch. You can sit here and talk with the captain about the itinerary for the day, where you want to go, how things are going with the crew, how things are going generally. You can plan your day's activity. A feature I really like, the intention of the shipyard is to have glass railings here. Now, traditionally, as you know, on yachts, they have stainless steel tubular railings, which don't look bad, but they don't look great either. And as a matter of fact, I've noticed that some shipyards, when they come out with a new model, and they show the renderings, they never put the railings on the model because it just doesn't look very nice. Sirena have thought about that, and they're looking at putting glass railings here and all the way down the stairwell too. So you can actually sit here and still appreciate that incredible view. You've got views to the aft, views forward as well. What a fantastic design of a yacht this is. Let's take a look inside for a moment. This, of course, will be the bridge. And again, I was surprised by the volume up here. Now, obviously, not all of this is bridge. Here, there will be the captain's cabin. Over there, there's going to be a pantry. I get the feeling the captain's cabin is going to be pretty big, actually. But you'll be able to judge for yourself when you look at the general arrangement picture, which will be on screen. This will be the Sky Lounge. And again, look at the size and the volume up here. Again, those full height windows here. They were explaining to me that that also is a big consideration, because the higher up the yacht that you go, the less you want weight. But of course, the windows are pretty heavy pieces of glass. So again, there's this communication going backwards and forwards with the Classification Society to make sure that they can produce something very beautiful, but at the same time very safe for the yacht. But I particularly wanted to show you this detail here. This will be large sliding doors, of course, out onto the upper aft deck. And back in the day, in order to meet classification requirements, they would have to put a ridge at the bottom so that if, God forbid, a huge wave comes over this part of the yacht, at least there's some kind of a dam, if you like, to stop it from just sweeping inside to the sky lounge. But now, what some shipyards are doing, and I'm happy to see that Sirena are doing too, in my opinion, a more efficient way is they have this drainage channel here just beneath my feet. And obviously that will be covered with teak, which will have lots and lots of holes in it, done in a very neat and attractive way. But that wasn't enough, because most of those drainage channels are made in a square shape. And the problem with that is that actually water stays there, it sloshes about, it can even start to smell, and then the crew have to constantly be cleaning it out, which can be somewhat of a nuisance. Sirena took the time and the thought, and they also discussed with their engineering departments to find a better solution. So as you can see, there's a slant to this area, so the water drainage will be much, much more efficient. And again, it's this constant tango, as my friend Ali Tanir, who's one of the brokers for this yacht, says. It's a constant tango to find form over function. This is a beautiful form, but it's also very functional. That said, there's a lot of very beautiful form on this yacht. Where I'm standing now will eventually be the upper aft deck, and I would imagine that the idea here is to have a nice dining table. You could have loose furniture. At this stage of the yacht, there's a lot that could be done with this area. Above me, there'll be a very spacious sun deck, and again, the sun deck will be well equipped with beautiful glass railings all the way around. In my opinion, by the time this is finished and launched, it will be one of the most desirable 42 meters in the world. There were two reasons that I really wanted to film this video. The first is that ever since visiting Sirena's other production facility and hearing about their new superyacht division, I was really eager to see the first yacht actually in construction. The second reason is that Northrop & Johnson represent the yacht for sale, and in my opinion, it represents one of the most exciting opportunities on the market today. And in fact, for me, Sirena are one of the most exciting yacht builders on the market today. Something I didn't even mention is that actually there are 3 sheds here. Shed number 1 for now is empty, and that can facilitate the build of anything up to their 50-meter super yacht. Shed number 2, as you've seen, has got the 42-meter already in construction and well along in it. And shed number 3, they're starting to build the wooden plug that will make the mold for the new Sirena 118. That connection between yacht builder, classification society and flag state is an important and ongoing relationship. Both of those entities will come back to the shipyard regularly during the construction process to ensure that everything is being done the way that they require. And when you buy the yacht and become the new owner, they'll continue to visit periodically if you want to keep the flag and keep the yacht in class. It's so important to start off on the right foot with those relationships. And when you find a builder with a pedigree of Sirena and a gorgeously designed and quite unique yacht like their 42-meter, where everything is being done properly by the book, then in my opinion, you need look no further.